Abdurrahman. Thank you. Minister of Interior, there's a lot of commitment in that area by the Minister of Finance. Do you share the same kind of commitment vis-a-vis the porous borders that we have? Because we have an issue of security that has been addressed to a large extent, but how are we trying to plug those loopholes, those borders that are supposedly porous, where people come in through to create havoc in the country?
Thank you. Let me first add to the issue of the infrastructure and connecting that to the issue of security. Realizing the fact that with the 1994 UN Human Development Report, which has redefined security from the traditional perspective of territorial integrity to the issue of human security. This is why the government focus on areas that will be people-oriented. And those areas, particularly in the agricultural sector, with its value chain, the completion of dams that have been abandoned for several years. The government is leading other African countries within the LCBC region in the recharging of Lake Chad, which has dried up by about 95% and has denied over 40 million people the opportunity for livelihood in terms of farming, irrigation, fishing, and so on and so forth. And so you could see the impact of that kind of situation that is given in terms of security within that region. And it is not surprising that today is a home of Boko Haram. So coming to the issue of borders, yes, our borders are porous and extensive. When you go around, take around the whole borders in Nigeria, it covers about 5,000 kilometers. And there are quite a number of challenges. One, there is the ECOWAS Protocol on Free Movement of Persons, Goods, and Services, which Nigeria is signatory. It's important to also note that the purpose of that protocol is for integration within the region, regional integration. So it's very important. But at the same time, we're also concerned about the security of our borders. So a lot of efforts have been made to ensure that we have, effective relationship both at the bilateral and multilateral levels to ensure that we do not accept breach of border security. Secondly, because of the porousness of our borders, this government, when it came, was able to provide lots of logistics to immigration department so that it can enhance its mobility to cover the border. But that is not adequate because it's extensive. You cannot cover such extensive borders just using vehicles. So part of what we are doing now, a major aspect of it, is e-border. One, we introduced biometrics processing at the borders. Secondly, we are also using technology for monitoring on our borders and also providing the ability to respond to emergencies. So these are issues that the government is tackling. But I quite agree the fact that with a situation whereby you have borders that are virtually artificial in a sense, whereby you have border communities that share common cultural affinity. It's extremely difficult. I've visited Ilela border sometimes last year, and I requested to meet with leadership of border communities, the community leadership. And when they came, then we started discussing about the security of our borders. Coincidentally, the chief of the community that is within Nigeria and that is within Niger Republic are brothers of same father, same mother. So they did not even like me talking about borders, because as far as they are concerned, there is no border. So these are some of the challenges we have to deal with, because one, I mentioned that we have to ensure that there is that free movement. But with that free movement, you have a situation whereby criminals try to take advantage of that. So we have to do everything to ensure that we ensure security within the borders. And also we are collaborating with development partners like IOM, with our immediate neighbors, the European Union, so that, because they also have interest, because of the number of Nigerians moving from Nigeria, they are in the desert and Mediterranean into Europe. And of course, we know that too, it's just about 10 to 15% of Nigerians do that. Most movements of our citizens are within the region, about 85%. But with the security threat of terrorism, particularly what we have in the Northeast, with the kind of weapons that are trickling from areas like Libya and Mali, we need to do a lot more to reinforce our borders. And this is precisely what the government is doing. Thank you very much.